Hello, it's Randi Rhodes. Here's a clip from our show, and go to randirhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.
Mary had a little man.
The fall. We believe that all men are created equal.
To the magnificent mosaic that is America.
From radio beacon to radio beacon. I have a dream today. Change has come to America.
Believe me.
Knock, knock. Who's there?
It's a figment of your imagination.
Randi Rhodes Show.
Turn up your mind.
The allegation that he improperly dispensed prescription drugs. Do you know what drugs were dispensed?
Yeah, I can't tell you exactly the name because I'm not a pharmacist, but these are drugs that are meant to put people to sleep and wake them back up. They're controlled substances. They're prescriptions. The word is that on overseas trips in particular, that Admiral would go down the aisleway of the airplane and say, all right, who wants to go to sleep, and hand out the prescription
So you're
drugs
talking about something like an Ambien type.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And put them to sleep and then give them the drugs to wake them back up again.
The wake-up drugs you're talking about, I assume, is something like Provigil,
That's
which
correct.
is officially for narcolepsy. It works on dopamine.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's these are called controlled substances for a reason. We have...
So he would actually just go down the aisle and
yes,
just sort of say,
that's correct.
who wants to go to sleep, who wants to wake up?
That's the reports we got from the people, the 20-some people who got a hold of us and said, we've got a problem, this doctor has a problem, because he hands out prescriptions like candy. In fact, in the White House, they call him the Candy Man.
Oh, the candy man. We got Willy Wonka, who's going to be our next VA, secretary. Willy Wonka, everybody. He loves the vets. Trump loves the vets. And this is the best he could do. Really? This is it? This is the... I mean, honest to God, there seems to be more drugs on overseas flights on Air Force, 1 and 2 than on a tour bus for, like, Metallica. You know what I mean? It's just... I can't... So they're what are they? He's like a cosmic flight attendant, this Dr. Randi. He goes down there, coffee, tea, something to free your mind. What was the thing in the Matrix? Red pill, blue pill, right? What they called them? Cookies? Was it cookies? Just blue pills? That's why I don't like that movie. It's nothing, imaginative. No, I'm kidding. People love the Matrix. I'm not one of them. But I mean, what is this? Okay, here's what we have. Dr. Randi is the White House shaman. Everybody, he's a shaman. He heals people as he goes down the aisle. It just, it's unbelievable. So here's a guy who is going up and down the aisle of it. And you know what's really fascinating about this? Every person in the media who reported on this practice of Dr. Randi going up and down the aisles and saying, would you like to wake up? Would you like to go to sleep? Free your mind, anybody? Coffee? Tea? Would you like something, they all had to say, and this is so crazy, every one of them had to say, in the interest of full disclosure, oh yeah, I have to tell you, I've been on these flights, and it's a standard operating procedure that the White House doctor goes up and down the aisle and will hand out Ambien and will hand out Provigil to wake you up. They're saying Trump doesn't do drugs. Give me a break. This is why he's saying this man has an impeccable reputation. This is like Dr. Bornstein, who will sign any damn piece of paper that was put in front of him. I mean, this is like, you got a doctor who's treating the press corps and the senior White House, officials on these long flights like they're at a Dead concert, I need a miracle. I need a miracle. You know what I mean? It's like, do you get a grilled cheese with that too? It's so bizarre. And every single one of the media people that reported on this story last night all had to say, in the interest of full disclosure, I have to say I've been on some of these flights, and yeah, this is what they do. He goes up and down. So everybody knows this. Everybody in the media, this is why nobody reported it, okay? This is crazy. This is just nuts. This is absolutely insane. I mean, what if you had, that reaction to Ambien that some people have where they sleepwalk or, they get up and start cooking or they walk around the block or whatever. You know what I mean? How do you do that? And how do you know what somebody else is also taking in order to, look at the contraindications? Plus, he has a second issue. Not only does he walk around like the flight over to South Korea is some freaking Dead concert. But he also apparently is like, on duty, on call, and drunk.
The second allegation is that Dr. Jackson was repeatedly drunk on duty while overseas with the president. Under which administration did this happen?
It was the previous administration. It was the Obama administration. And the truth is that the Admiral Jackson was the primary health care provider for the president. And if you're drunk and something happens with the president, it's very difficult to go in and treat the president how it needs to be done. So this is totally unacceptable under this environment, and that's what multiple people told us this was the case on several different trips.
Do you know under what circumstances he was drinking? I mean, was it a social occasion?
I believe they were social. So there were comments about him being in the hotel room and couldn't respond because he had been drinking so much.
He couldn't actually respond to requests that were being made of him.
That's right.
The third allegation, creating a toxic work environment, also allegations of harassment. What exactly is being alleged there?
Well, I mean, and this was people that were below him, not people above him. We were told time and time again the people above him he treated like gold. The people below him he belittled, screamed at them. Really create a very toxic environment to the point where the people that worked around him felt like they had to walk on eggshells because of his lack of respect for their job.
Now, you have to realize that the medical office in the White House is staffed by active duty military. That's why Ronnie Jackson is an admiral, okay? He's a Navy admiral. I got to tell you, this idea that Trump loves the vets, and 20 people came forward, 20 people in what is probably a very small office, the White House medical office. I mean, how many people do you think there are there? I have no idea. If anybody knows, tell me, because I really don't. But I know that it's small enough that, Senator Tester there, that's John Tester, he's a Democrat from Montana. He was joined by Senator Johnny Isakson, the Republican and the chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee, in exposing this story. So this isn't political. This is completely bipartisan. It's the chairman of the Veterans Affairs Committee, Isakson, who's a Republican from Georgia, and the ranking member, John Tester from Montana, who's a Democrat. But Tester has put through every one of Trump's nominees. Every single one Tester has voted for. So this can't be political now, can it? No. What you have here is a president who made a deal with Dr. Ronnie Jackson. And the deal looks to me to go something like this. You get out there and you say what Dr. Bornstein signed on that I am like the most amazingly genetically superior human being that you have ever examined in your life, that I have the ability to live to 200 years old, even though I live on a diet of Big Macs and Kentucky Fried Chicken and Diet Cokes all day, every day. I don't exercise. I'm sedentary. I watch television all day, and the only exercise I get is when I go out to the golf course and take a golf cart to walk up to the little ball and swing at it. Woo! And that's my entire regime, and that I weigh 239 pounds, and I'm fit. You do that, and then you tell me, what's your dream job? And Ronnie Jackson says, I'd love to be Secretary of Veterans Affairs. Done. You get out there and you lie about my cardiac health, you lie about my weight, you lie about my height, you lie about my physical, you lie about my mental acuity, you lie about everything, and I will make you Secretary of Veterans Affairs. I'll find you the best job ever. That's your dream. You got it. You got it. And so now you have a drunk who likes to hand out uppers and downers vouching for Trump's health. And, if you think about it this way, which is I'm sure how the, drunk doctor thinks about it, compared to, an alcoholic pill-popping doctor, a few Big Macs a day doesn't seem all that bad. This is crazy. Vetting? What? And you know what? If Dr. Ronnie is a good guy and impeccable, as Sarah Sanders is vouching and the president is vouching after yesterday going, what do you need it for? If I were you, I wouldn't put myself through it. What do you need it for? All but killing his chances. Then all of a sudden last night, Dr. Ronnie goes to the White House and they meet right ahead of the state dinner. What did he have? A Big Mac so he wouldn't have to eat the lamb that Melania ordered for the state dinner last night. Did you see that menu? Ew. I'm a better cook than that. Should do the Rhodes Catering Company. Oh, my God. That menu was just so vile. No offense to the chefs. I'm sure that's what Melania ordered, and, you don't really have much say. It's just, and all that gold, that ungapachkid room, and it was so dark in there because you have a 71-year-old president who thinks he's 239 pounds, and is really way, way over, closer to 300. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So I guess he had a Big Mac and talked to Dr. Rani, and Dr. Rani told him he wanted to continue. He wants this job. So now he's spending all day saying, yesterday he spent all day saying Jackson should pull out. And today he's saying he should fight on. Now, what kind of a clown even wants to be part of this circus, you see? And this is why we're at the bottom of the barrel. But didn't I make the point yesterday? I guess Jeffrey Toobin listens. Hi, Jeffrey. You're looking good in your old age. I guess Jeffrey Toobin heard the show because yesterday I said, if he loves the vets so much, why is he scraping the bottom of the barrel? Meaning a guy with absolutely no hospital administration experience at all. A guy who, got done with his residency in 2004, I guess, and then deployed to Iraq. I guess he's a very, he was like in a MASH unit in Iraq, and then came back and failed upward somehow, and then battled the White House doctor to Barack Obama was a different doctor. And then all of a sudden this guy comes in and they are battling it to the death, literally creating this hostile work environment, arguing with each other in front of everybody, creating all this, chaos in the medical office in the White House because Dr. Rani wanted to kick out Dr. Coleman, I guess is his name, and the people there were saying this is chaos. It's chaotic, it's hostile, and he treats everybody underneath him like dirt, but he kisses ass up. He kisses up so freaking good. And this is why Obama had no idea that he was creating a hostile work environment. Now, here's what happened. You have these active military, they're on active duty people in the White House serving in this unit. And they have to, this is the Military Uniform Code of Justice, okay, the UCMJ, Uniform Military Code of Justice. They have to go through the chain of command. They can't walk into the president's office. They couldn't go to Barack Obama. They couldn't go to Joe Biden, okay? They couldn't go to anybody. They had to go through their own military chain of command. And some of them did and said there's this crazy toxic work environment here in the medical office in the White House, and we're reporting it and blah, blah, blah. And you know what? Some of them actually said, we were on an overseas trip, and this is during the Obama administration. We were on an overseas trip, and Dr. Rani was so freaking drunk, he was passed out in his hotel room, and somebody called and needed medical help on this trip. They won't say who. But they said that they had to go into Dr. Rani's room to get him, and he was passed out cold. They couldn't rouse him. They couldn't wake him up. He was drunk and passed out. So they went to his medical bag. They got the supplies they needed, and they treated whoever this was on the trip that needed medical attention. They reported this up the chain of command. Nothing happened. All right, then there's another incident. Dr. Rani was passed out drunk. And then somebody called him. He woke up. So he kept trying to assert himself like he could do it, like he was able, but he wasn't. He was all wobbly and he was drunk, but he grabbed his medical bag and he kept trying to assert himself like, get out of my way. I could do this. I could do. And then there was another, and they reported that. And then there was another incident where he was so drunk, the Secret Service got involved. He apparently was walking down a hallway, drunk out of his mind, and one of the staffers that was also on the trip was in her hotel room sleeping, and Dr. Rani started pounding on the door and yelling in the hallway so loud that the Secret Service had to get involved because Dr. Rani was running the risk of waking up President Barack Obama. And then Obama would have known. Now, all of these incidences were reported up through the chain of command, and nothing happened. And so the lower-ranking people, the nurses, let's say, anybody less than a rear admiral, tried to work through the chain of command. It just didn't make it anywhere. And so they started to feel like, why bother? But there is a Secret Service report, and it was created in 2012, and you would think that if Donald Trump loves Dr. Rani so much, because he's very Willy Wonka, he's very Candyman, he's very free with the Provigil, which I think is Trump's drug of choice, he would have vetted him and prevented him from being publicly humiliated in this fashion. But of course, the people in the president's personnel office are drunks with DUIs and passing bad checks. Holy crap. Go to RandiRhodes.com for the whole thing and a podcast. Buy a stinking podcast.